And our first segment this week is going to be our top 5 segment. And for those of you guys who tuned in last week, you may remember that Kadie and I tried really, it was difficult, but we gave our top 5 active female singers. And so this week we're doing our active male singers.
Well, it's not singers, it's artists.
Okay, that's fine. Top 5 male artists.
That's how it's written.
That is how it's written. You're absolutely correct. That is exactly how it's written. So,
thank you.
I have my 5 ready. I hope you guys do as well. We'll go Kadie, Kyle, and then me. So, Kadie, you'll do your number 5. Kyle, you'll do your number 5. I'll do my number 5, and we'll just keep going from there, okay?
Okay. So, I only have one that's not a singer, but artist, and that is my number 5. And that would be Yellow Wolf. I love that dude. Always love Yellow Wolf. Love him a lot.
Rap hip hop to start off with. Who knew, Kadie?
Okay, so Jackson introduced me a long time ago, like 5 years ago. And I just love it. Can't get enough. I don't care how many times I've heard the song. I will listen to it all day, every day.
Nice. That's not a bad pick. I like it.
Thank you.
And it's going to add some diversity to our list for sure.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you got at number 5, my man?
At number 5, and you know what? If I would have had the chance, I probably would have switched these in a more perfect order. But they're top 5 to me. Let's just say that, no particular order. Number 5 I have it's a new artist on the scene, Teddy Swims.
Okay, I've actually heard of Teddy a little bit.
You know everybody.
Yeah. So Teddy is, let's just say that he's percolating right now.
Yeah.
And up until, say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, nobody really knew his name.
Yeah.
But here, I would say by the springtime, everybody on this planet will know who Teddy Swims is. Like, he's legitimately
he's just got that monstrous,
good.
Gigantic voice, you know?
Yeah.
It's monstrous.
Yeah, and I have some gigantic voices on my list as well. One of them is local, actually, and Kadie might be surprised. Maybe not. She knows me kind of well, so. But I feel like I have a pretty good diverse list here. I've got steampunk, I've got hard rock, I've got rap, I've got country, I've got kind of roots rock, Americana. So we're going to start with my number 5. I'll be very surprised if anybody has heard of him. But I'm fixing to let you guys know what's up, okay? David Michael Bennett is my number 5, and the reason why a lot of folks may not know that name is because he is actually the lead singer of a band called Steam Powered Giraffe. And Steam Powered Giraffe is amazing. They are like steampunk rock, a lot of a cappella style music. And it's called Steam Powered Giraffe.
Oh my god. I just have to look.
That's what I was fixing to do too.
You guys should check them out because they're always in character and they're fantastic.
I love this.
Those guys look crazy chill, right?
And the harmonies are ridiculous. You guys got to check them out if you haven't heard of them. Again, it's Steam Powered Giraffe, but my number 5, his name is David Michael Bennett. And Kadie, you're up next with number 4.
So I will go ahead and say right now that I felt wrong because my list would be very, very different if I thought of it like a band, like a lead to a band.
Right.
These are individual artists or artists that have had like more than one band or kind of like someone that is known individually.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I did male artists, they would all be metal.
Of course.
And it would be
I knew you were going to say that too.
It would be no one anyone would know. So.
But I mean, that's what this is about, though. This is about giving our favorite 5, so that way we can teach people who our favorites are.
No, yeah, this is a favorite 5. It's just a different category per se for me.
Right.
You know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, Post Malone is my number 4.
Okay.
So yeah, love Post Malone.
Go ahead.
I have forever. Since Post Malone was Post Malone, I have loved.
I love him too. It's just really hard, man. Like, I don't listen to a lot of male singers. And we talked about that last week with the female artist that we were talking about. But Post Malone is definitely in my top 10. But it's hard for me because, like, if it's like I never wake up and I'm like, oh, I need to listen to Post. Like, you know what I mean? It just kind of happens throughout my day, and then I'm stuck on him for the rest of the hour or whatever.
So for me, yes. But then once I'm like that with every artist because I'm always finding new stuff and getting fixated on new stuff and forgetting about all the old. So I will have to be reminded. I will say that. But once I am, I have like a shit ton of songs from Post Malone saved, and I'll just go to him on Spotify and my like songs, and there's probably like 50, and just shuffle them and like only do that for a few days.
And just to throw this out there, just to piss off some people, because that's what we're all about here on the Chris and Kadie Show, right? We have to within our 2 hours, we have to piss off as many people as we can. So
okay, well, hold on. I need to go back to my dark humor jokes for the.
Well, you just hold on that shit. But I'm gonna throw this out there. Post Malone. It was just announced. He is the only artist in the history of music to have at least one #1 alternative rock album, one #1 hard rock album, at least one #1 rap album, and at least one #1 country album. With his new country album just went #1, he is the first artist to ever do that.
He's a badass.
He is.
If my music taste were different and these my top 3 didn't exist, he would definitely be my #1.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he's my #4.
I wouldn't put his music in the shadows at all. But I mean, just looking at the guy from the perspective of what kind of guy he is, you know, all the reports that you see online about the guy seems he's a genuinely nice guy.
I've seen nothing bad about the guy. I mean,
that right there makes a big diff to me with all the people that I've met in my time.
Absolutely. So who's your #4, Kyle?
#4 for me is going to be Chris Stapleton, following right behind Teddy Swims. You know, I really like Chris Stapleton. I always have since I first heard him. Since I heard him do the national anthem, that really blew me away. Gosh, just what a voice, what a powerhouse.
And an incredible songwriter, too, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. That man was writing stuff for people before anybody knew his name. And honestly, if he never became an artist in his own right, he would have been just a Hall of Fame songwriter. And I'm sure he already is. He's on my top 10, too, did not make my top 5. But I got a small story about Chris Stapleton. I have a friend of mine who works at Fame in Muscle Shoals, and I can't talk to him ever because like he'll just, Chris came over this weekend and we were just throwing some melodies together. I was like, you know what? Just go away. Just don't talk to me right now. Like I just like. You know, at least call him Stapleton or Sir or King Chris or something, right? Like,
not just Chris.
Right. Yeah,
come on now.
I'm sorry. I got to take this call. It's Chris. No, you do not. Absolutely not.
Would it make a difference if you said I got to take this call from Mr. Stapleton?
That would be okay with me, yeah. But yeah, Chris Stapleton's amazing. Right? But see, again, the same thing with Post, right? Like, I love Chris Stapleton, and when it comes on, I can get lost in that shit for over an hour, but it's not something I seek out. So that's kind of how I formulated my top 5, because my top 5, every one of these guys, I will seek out their music just to vibe out on it, right? And so that's why some of these guys didn't make my list. I just want to catch up. Kadie, you had Yellow Wolf at 5 and Post Malone at 4.
Teddy Swims and
Teddy Swims and
Stapleton.
And Stapleton. Okay. So that leaves me at #4. So my #4 is somebody that I have nicknamed The Voice. My wife and I have called him The Voice.
I can get behind this one.
Yeah, and I've known this guy for probably 2016. This is the first time I met him. We're talking about Matt James from Blacktop Mojo. Look, all I'm going to say about Matt James, and then I will let Kadie go to #3, Matt James covered a song by Aerosmith so well that Steven Tyler refused to ever perform that song again.
Yeah.
So Matt James, yeah, he stopped Steven Tyler from performing Dream On live.
Yep.
Wow.
He is freaking insane. I
mean,
love
that's
that man.
when you know you're good, right? Like when you do when you cover an iconic song like that, and the original artist is like, "Yo, I quit. Yo, I tap out, bro." Like, no.
Steve Tyler, you know. So I mean,
yeah,
sure,
exactly. So yeah, he had to be on my list. And like I said, my wife and I have been calling him the Voice for almost probably 8 or 9 years since I've known him. And the guy's fantastic. And of course, he's frontman of Blacktop Mojo. He's also releasing music under his own name as well. So he's kind of got two things going on. So if you don't know Matt James, you need to. I promise you, you'll love him. Katie, who do you got at number 3?
I got Mr. Paul McCartney at number 3.
Sir Paul McCartney.
Sir.
It is Sir Paul McCartney.
Fine.
He's granted his night.
So I can't wait to hear this one because this kind of surprises me a little bit.
What?
It does, just a little bit,
I was never a Lennon gal. But regardless of that, I love the Wings. I love Paul McCartney and his own stuff. I obviously love the Beatles. I grew up on it. I was definitely very influenced by Paul McCartney and the Beatles, big time. When I was younger, I remember I was singing at the Wiley Opry, and I asked Jimmy. You remember the guitar player Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love him, Jimmy and Mary. Anyway, they've been there forever. I think they've left, but they've been there forever. And I begged him to learn how to play Yesterday on guitar, like finger picking and everything, and he did. And I sang it, and I was like 9. So, yeah. But I love Paul McCartney. I love the Beatles. I'm all about it. But Paul, I mean, he has sustained a career for a long time. Everyone still knows who he is.
So,
you know,
probably the most iconic musician in the history of man, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
and I mean, Paul McCartney had a big thing to do with the Beatles, but the Beatles were just freaking amazing. They didn't even care about music. They were just like, okay, music is math.
You know what I love about the Beatles?
We're going to do this.
The Beatles drummer,
that's how
their drummer was the 3rd best drummer in the group.
Ringo?
Yeah.
That's no lie.
So both George Harrison and McCartney were better drummers than Ringo. True story. But they didn't want
a lot more behind that too.
Yeah. Yep. And have you heard the story behind Yesterday, Katie? So Yesterday, he wrote the melody for Yesterday while he was asleep. He woke up to the melody in his head. Okay. So he woke up and he had I'm assuming one of them little recorders or whatever. So he pushes record and he just went da da da. Da, 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 and he started going scrambled eggs, how I really like your legs. And he started writing these lyrics in there just to hold. This is all true, I swear to God.
He knows everything.
I swear to God, this is true. Y'all can look it up. The original name of Yesterday was Scrambled Eggs. Look it up. But anyway, he was just using this as like a placeholder because he didn't know whether or not he had heard the melody somewhere before. He didn't want to steal the song. So it just sat there in his drawer for 3 years. Before he found it again, went back in it, fleshed it out in the studio, and then started asking questions around, has anybody heard this melody? And that ended up being the most...
Eggs.
Yep. Scrambled eggs, oh, how I like your legs.
Couldn't make you any green eggs and ham.
Kyle, who is your number 3, my dude?
My number 3 is Vince Gill. Vince Gill. What a pure voice.
Yep.
To me, I grew up bluegrassing. That's what. Well, I started playing mandolin at the age of 6.
That's what's up.
So I grew up in a bluegrass family. So Vince Gill was always a big part of our, with him and Ricky Skaggs and that combination. That's kind of what I grew up with the straight vocal without any vibrato or anything like that. Just pure, clean, straight vocals. So for me, number 3 is going to be Vince Gill.
Vince Gill is the most recorded man in the history of music.
He knows everything. I'm telling you, he knows everything.
You know, I like this guy.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I only know that because he told me that. I'm just saying. But yeah, between session work with guitar, harmonies, he's done so much session work and harmonies over the years. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's out there if you Google it. Most recorded man, and at one point in time, he was the most awarded person at the Grammys as well. I think that's no longer the case, though. I think somebody has overtaken him for that. But when I interviewed him, he was the most awarded Grammy award winner at the time. But yeah, Vince is insanely good. Again, another great songwriter and somebody who doesn't get a lot of
human good.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you guys hit Paul McCartney and Vince Gill. That's freaking amazing because both of those guys are still active and just iconic people.
Don't do that. Can't do that.
No, oh my God, stop. No, I didn't. No. Hold on.
What?
Chris, I forgot Ozzy.
Oh, Osborne.
She pulled a Chapel Roan on herself. I completely forgot Chapel Roan last week. And now she forgot Ozzy.
I love her now.
Oh, yeah, she's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, guys.
What's that? No, wait. What?
You've got 2 spots left, so if you're putting Ozzy on there, somebody's getting kicked off.
Yeah. Just get a little pen, scratch through that.
My top 2 are so good.
They are.
So my number three is going to be my number 3 is Eminem, and only because I have those kicks, man. Like Eminem is a mood, right? He's a mood, and like whenever I'm in that mood, like there's nobody else that's going to do it for me, and he just pisses me off, and for real,
he was 2 M's, a move and a movement.
Yeah. Fuck, man. If I'm mad, bro, like Eminem makes me feel better. Like, okay, like you know what? I'm really, really mad, but that dude's deranged. Like, I feel a whole lot more normal after listening to Eminem, for real. And I mean, we reviewed the new record on here. But yeah, I got Eminem at number 3, and now I get to listen to Katie struggle with her number 2 because now her number 2 and number 1 are going to be picked over Ozzy Osbourne. I just want everybody to understand. She has picked. Nope, hold on. She has a Great Dane named Ozzy, and yet so far she has picked Yellow Wolf, Post Malone, and Paul McCartney over Ozzy. And she does not have a Great Dane named Yellow Wolf or a Great Dane named McCartney.
And you forgot Ozzy.
Hold on.
He's literally tapping around your house.
Okay, so he hasn't released anything since 2022.
Oh, so now you're loopholing your way out of this shit. You're trying to say he's not active.
He's basically dead. I love that man, but he's basically dead.
Hey, Boston,
it doesn't count.
As us Texans call that, she's crawfishing.
She's crawfishing. That's right. That's exactly what she's doing. You know what? I don't have to pick Ozzy because he's not just not active, but he has no clue what's happening right now.
He's not active in here.
Once again, another man after my own brain.
So who is your number 2 that actually knows who they are, Katie?
Corey Taylor. I love me Corey Taylor. Not just Slipknot. Not just Stone Sour.
She sounds so depressed. She's like, oh, it's Corey Taylor because he's active. He knows what his middle name is still, and golly, but it's not Ozzy.
Like all disappointed in her choice.
Oh my God, this is great. I love Slipknot. Corey Taylor, yay!
Well, okay. So funny enough, this is why I thought about it. Stone Sour opened up for Ozzy Osbourne when I saw him. So that's where I was like, wait a minute.
Well, wait,
I knew I was going to do that.
Now this is like that Kevin Bacon game where you're trying degrees of separation and shit, right?
Yeah, 10 degrees of separation. Yeah, 7 degrees of separation.
So Stone Sour opened for Ozzy. So by proxy, that means Corey Taylor is actually with Ozzy in my number 2 slot. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, but yes. That's not what I was getting at, but I will go with your plan because I like it.
I think she meant yes, but no.
This is great. All right. Kyle, what's your number 2?
I've really got to blend these two together because the reason that I like them is the same. And I'm going to, if I could take that liberty and name 2.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, since we're doing that now.
Hey, I'm the guest.
See the precedent you started, Kadie?
I would say because the reason being is because they play bass and perform and sing, and they're both frontmen. Geddy Lee or from Primus, Les Claypool.
Oh my God!
Those 2 artists for me, because they play bass.
It's because of the bass. Well. Yeah.
Yeah, I play bass, so I teach a lot of different instruments, but
yeah, we teach together. Yeah.
I did.
Oh yeah, we didn't tell everybody that.
We told nobody.
This is my coworker.
Right.
They
we
work together. I was waiting for a bass player, to be fair. I knew it had to be coming.
Hey, I mean, all of them are flaky. I mean, the good ones, anyways, are usually flaky.
Oh, man. I love when I'm interviewing a bass player and I'm always like, so just couldn't get a lead guitar gig or what? I mean, what's going on here? And they'll be like, no, I just wanted the bass. I'm like, no, you didn't. Get out of here. Nobody wants the bass first.
It's enough trouble to try to sing and play bass for me personally than throwing a guitar in my hands and adding, gosh, how many more strings do they have?
Nope, I'm going to stick with the 5 strings. We're good here. Do you feel like, just off topic a little bit before we go to our number 1s, do you feel like playing the bass and kind of being in the rhythm section helps you with harmony? Because I did notice the harmony with you in the video.
That's what Ricky hired me for too. They wanted me to sing the 3rds and the 5ths.
Yeah.
I lovingly say they wanted me to sing the girl parts. But I switched to bass out of necessity. Early on in Tallahatchie, we lost our bass player, and Trent said, "Okay, you're on bass," and I went, "Okay," just that easy. Not knowing that when I switched to the bass, I play on the downbeat or on the kick drum, and so I had to relearn how to sing and play bass because it's just a totally different animal, man.
What was your instrument when you switched? Was it the guitar?
Like I said, my original instrument was mandolin, and then I switched to guitar, and then it went to bass. So
nice.
Where I found my home.
So that was a little off topic, guys. I'm an interviewer. I'm sorry. Okay, it's what I do. You can't stop me. All right. Number 2 for me is Jelly Roll.
Yes.
And again, I'm very surprised that I put him here because again, I find myself typing his name into my search engines, and that's why this list got to be. Again, for some reason, I've been gravitating towards female artists a lot more lately. And so, like, this was really hard for me to come up with 5 or 10 male artists because I don't really seek them out as much as I used to. I think it's because I've gone on this pop music kick, and right now the girls are killing it in pop. So, with Taylor and Billy and Chappell Roan and Olivia Rodrigo and
I'm so obsessed with Chappell Roan now. You have no idea.
She's so good, man.
You have no idea.
I want to make her my song of the day, but I'm waiting for her Subway song to be recorded because it's so ridiculously good.
Jackson heard me listening to Casual. Her song.
Amazing. So Kyle, you look like you're a little bit lost. So
I'm sitting this one out. Yeah.
So Chappell Roan is a pop artist in the vein of Taylor Swift, kind of Billie Eilish. She is a lesbian, and she is very vocal about her lesbianism.
Well, yes, she definitely look. Well, I'm gonna.
She's amazing. Let's just she's amazing. But yeah, I almost left her out of my list, and I am obsessed with her too. 47-year-old cisgendered straight male.
This is the
Completely
I'm the
obsessed.
lyrics casual.
It's okay. I'm kind of obsessed with Billie Eilish too. I have to admit
Hey,
that.
me
I
too,
really
bro. Chapel Roan is better. I'm here to tell you, man. Chapel Roan is better. You won't believe it.
This is the chorus, so it repeats that a million times. So yeah, Jackson walks in, and I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, catching some lyrics here.
She's
Wow.
amazing. She's amazing.
Pretty powerful stuff there.
It's good stuff too, though, and I'm glad she's blowing up.
You should listen to it.
So we're on number one for Kadie. Kadie's number one
Number
right
one
now.
for Kadie, yeah.
Yep.
I honestly, I probably, if I was to throw Ozzy in here, Yellow Wolf would have been booted down, and Ozzy would have been above Paul. So Ozzy would have been number 3.
Wow.
Only because as of right now, he's dead.
So who's your number 1 then?
Well, because like I love Ozzy, but that's like looking upon the past. There's nothing to look forward to.
You don't have to. You don't have to explain away your guilt to me, Kadie. It's fine. You just work that out later, okay?
Fine. Well, my number 1, I don't regret it. I don't regret it, and this is Miles Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah.
Nice.
I love Miles Kennedy. This man, I will just listen to this man over and over again. I've watched the same like videos live of like Alter Bridge and Miles live like a million times. Like I just go watch it for fun. Like I'm bored, I'm gonna go watch Alter Bridge live like a freaking weirdo. But Miles Kennedy, he is one of the I don't give a shit what anyone says. He is one of the best male vocalists ever. He has perfect technique. Mm-hmm. He has a huge range. I'm talking huge range, and he has perfect control. Love that man. And even though he's a little bit older now, live he sounds exactly the same with no effort.
What's he like, 31? What is he like?
I was gonna be mean.
All right, hold on a second. Nice. Guys, stream, let's try to figure out what a little bit older now is. Hold on.
He's in his, I'm pretty sure he's like 52.
You mean like Vince Neil a little bit older now?
Okay, so he's 54 and I'm 47. Oh. And we were both both born in Boston too, interestingly enough. Yeah, interesting. So he's just a little bit older, stream, right? Wow.
Well, yeah, I've said that for y'all.
She said that for our benefit. She thought she was saying it.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's like y'all's age now, but he's still doing it.
First of all, I would never apologize for seeking out somebody musically. That's amazing, regardless of what it is, right? Unless it's Nickelback. Nickelback's a different thing, but like anybody else.
Well, okay, here's the thing that I love about Miles. He took an amazing band with a shit vocalist and replaced the shit vocalist with a new band, and it's like heaven. Mm-hmm. You know mm-hmm. everything. Yeah, do you know?
No, not at all.
Alter Bridge, you know.
Do I know everything? No.
Do you know Alter Bridge? So, everyone that doesn't know, Miles Kennedy is the vocalist for Alter Bridge, and the band Alter Bridge is also Creed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they're an amazing band, but then Scott just has to fuck everything.
Oh, we can say that on here.
Look,
he's gonna take it out later.
Look, Scott, I do not agree with anything that she says, okay? So, if you still want to come on the other show, no, you look, stop it.
Oh, sorry.
Look, that guy's playing Frank Sinatra right now, okay? That's pretty badass. I don't know what biopic he's in, but he played Frank Sinatra in a biopic. Scott Stapp played Frank Sinatra. That shit is kind of funny to me. Kyle, what's your number 1?
As I'm spilling my drink, pardon me. My number 1, because he's the greatest of all times that will ever live on the planet, is Robert Plant.
Nice. Wait, is he still active?
I think
he did that album with Alison Krauss.
I was gonna say he might be in bluegrass still.
Another one. He did 2 with Alison Krauss.
I know. And they're both ridiculously good, by the way. Very, very good.
He's just always been the man to me. I mean, I've always looked up to him. I always wanted to sound like him. I remember when I could scream Led Zeppelin for a couple of sets, but I dang sure can't do it no more.
Right? Look, I mean,
Not my regular voice.
I just love an artist that can go from one niche, which Led Zeppelin kind of created their own lane, right? Like there's an entire lane that Led Zeppelin just kind of hopped in the snowplow and just
Carved it out.
carted
Yeah,
it
man.
out, and then you know what? I feel like doing a bluegrass album with Allison. Fuck it, let's do it. Like, how many artists can do that? Like,
Love that.
there's no, like, you know what? It's like Rod Stewart, right? Like, I know he's not on the list here, but like Rod was just like, you know what? I feel like doing some Tony Bennett, by God.
Mike Range used to say this about Rod Stewart all the time. Worst, best voice ever.
I know, because like that's something that should come on the radio and you know who it is, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but like it worked for him, by God. He's famous
Right
because
on.
of it. All right, so I got last name here, and I'm a little bit scared to put it out there because y'all weren't with me at all. But I got Tyler Childers at number one. Just because, don't you do that again. I would rather you yawn, young lady. I like Tyler Childers just because, again, he's a vibe. Like, and you go there, and like, there's just so many other artists that are kind of trying to replicate what he does, what he started. I mean, you got Zach
Yeah,
Bryan.
you're right on there.
You know what I mean? You got Zach Bryan, you got Oliver Anthony, you got all of these. Jason Isbell, who is, by the way, more
Man.
famous than Tyler Childers, has changed his vibe because of Tyler Childers, in my opinion. Coulter Wall, like there's all of these artists. In my opinion, Tyler Childers has brought back roots music and Americana, and has brought back kind of that vibe. And I get why people don't like him too. Believe me.
Yeah.
Just it's again like the Nickelback
Haters
effect.
gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. That's
Haters
right.
gonna hate.
So that's our top 5 male artists currently active. We have from Katie Lynn, Miles Kennedy, Corey Taylor, Paul McCartney, Post Malone, and then Ozzy and Yellow Wolf in a team death match to try to get in. And we should try to create a team death match between them two, because we'd probably get some views on that shit. I would like to see Yellow Wolf and Ozzy try to get after it. And we'll have Sharon referee that shit. That would be
He did it with Post.
That's right.
He did it
That's
with Post.
right. And then Kyle, who has a fantastic list, even though he couldn't go down to just 5 because of his bass love. But he's got Robert Plant at number 1 and a tie for second between 2 bassists, Geddy Lee and Les Claypool. Number 3, which is actually 4, he has Vince Gill. And number 4, which is actually 5, he has Chris Stapleton. And I love the fact that Teddy Swims is on this list somewhere as well, because
That's my top 6.
that's his top 6 Winky Face 5. And my top 5 is Tyler Childers, Jelly Roll, Eminem, Matt James from Blacktop Mojo, and David Michael Bennett from Steam Powered Giraffe. My honorable mentions would have been Post Malone, Ed Sheeran, Hosier, Coulter Wall, people like that. But yeah, those are our top 5s.